So I was just thinking, I got off work early actually. Woo woo. But anyways, I was just thinking, people be asking me like, how do I do it? Like, how do I get my kids to be so independent? Because they really are. But like they're older, 17 and 18. But they were independent when they were younger too. How did I do that? Well, a little background on me. I grew up in a very large family, like huge. Like I had 7 brothers and sisters all in the same house, 4-bedroom house. And so my parents, my mom specifically, did not have time to be doing everything for us. So it was like you did it or you didn't get done, or you had to wait till mom did it. And waiting for mom to do it would take a long time, just because all your siblings need stuff too, right? And then mom has to do stuff for herself and take care of the house and take care of dad and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna say that I was independently doing everything, but when I started raising my kids, I guess that mentality was just in my head. Of course, when they were babies and when they couldn't do things for themselves, I did it for them. But when they started coming of age where I thought that they were able to do things on their own, I started teaching them how to do things on their own, just because that was my mentality. So there's no top secret, nothing. That was just in my head. I don't plan on doing everything for them for the rest of their lives. That was in my head. So I started teaching them how to do things for themselves. Heaven was very receptive. She wanted to be independent, and I think she just got that mentality from me having it. So I started her off real young. I would be like doing laundry or whatever, and she would walk up and she was always around me. So I'm like, she already here. She was asking questions like, what you doing, all that kind of stuff. So I was telling her, like, I'm doing laundry, I gotta put it in here, you gotta press this button to turn it on. You gotta separate it so that it won't, your white clothes won't get pink when you put red things in there. Like all that stuff, I was just talking to her, and she was like soaking it up, honey. She was soaking it up. So eventually she was like, can I do it? And I'd be like, yeah. So I would stand there, I would see what she can do first, because she had already been watching me. So I would see what she could do first, and she always surprised me, and she would always like know what to do. Sometimes she would be like confused, like, what do I do next? But she would always ask, like, what you do with this? Or now what do I do? Or how do you get this to happen? And because I was there with her, I would be like, oh, well, you just do that. Or here, I'll show you. And then that too is really good, just showing your child how to do it, like, so they can watch you do it and then see how they're supposed to do it. But the trick is, now this is a trick, the trick is when you do something yourself to show your child how to do it, I undo it right then. I undo it and then say, now you try. So like if I were to show Heaven how to turn on the washing machine, for example, at age 7, which is when she started doing laundry, if I were to show her how to do that, I would say, okay, here's how you do it. And then I would do it. I'll be like, watch me, this is how you do it. And then I would turn it back off and be like, now you try. And so them actually doing things while you're standing there is great, because it puts it in their mind, this is how you do it. So because they're doing it themselves instead of just having that instruction or whatever. And then if they made a mistake or something, I'd be like, no, you got to do that right there with them. Eventually they got to the point where I didn't have to stand there with them anymore. I felt confident enough. I had seen them do it correctly many times, and I felt confident enough, and then I just started backing off naturally and letting them do it on their own, because I knew they could do it. Now here's another tip, and here's another thing that a lot of parents don't realize, or guardians or whoever you are, don't realize where they're going wrong as well. Your kid, or the person that you're trying to give more independence, have them become more independent, They're never gonna do the thing that you're trying to get them to do the way that you do it. They're never going to, because they're not you. Even adults, like, will not do the thing exactly the way that you do it. They won't do it because they're not you. And that's a lot of things that, you know, we forget as parents and guardians and such when we're taking care of the young ones. And then because they didn't do it the way that we do it, we feel like, now I got to do it again. So instead of just having it done twice by the child and you rather just do it yourself. As far as like cleaning, chores, laundry, whatever, that kind of thing. We know they can do it by themselves, but because they don't do it the way that we want them to do it, we just do it ourselves. Stop! They're not going to do it the way you want them to do it. Doesn't mean it's wrong, it's not done right, because they didn't do it that way. No, it don't mean that. It's done. They did their laundry. You know what I'm saying? Did they separate the lights from the dark like you usually do? Probably not. They probably threw the whole thing in there and just watched the whole entire load all together. They probably did that. But is their laundry clean? Yes, it is. One of the shirts might be a little bit pink, but guess what? That's your fault. I told you how to do it. You didn't do it the way I told you to do it, so this is the result you got. And that also teaches them too that they have to think about the instruction that they got. And then also ask for help again. You can always, just because they're doing it on their own and you're not watching them, does not mean they can't come back to you and be like, hey mom, I was doing such and such and this happened. There's no problem with that. They can always come back to you and ask for more help. And if you know they're doing the thing on their own, you can always go and check on them as many times as you want. As many times as you want, just as long as you don't hover. Do not hover, because you're going to try to take over. And then one last trick that I learned over the years, and that's something that I just gathered when the kids started getting a little bit older, and they're almost doing everything on their own. Like, I barely even supervise them at all. Sometimes I go back and check, but that's different. But I barely even supervise them at all. So if you feel the need to go and check on them while they're doing a task, just to check on them and see if they're doing it properly. Let's take cleaning, for example. So, like, cleaning a bathroom is kind of a big deal, but you also don't want to keep cleaning your kids' bathroom for them. So, for example, when I wipe down, and then I clean with bleach or whatever, and then I wipe it with something dry just so it don't leave streaks or whatever, or the little dust bunnies that come when you're wiping the counter or whatever. Ste'ce don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I come in and check on him just to see what he's doing, so he don't leave the counter all wet or whatever, and then get bleach on his clothes. Sometimes I come and check on him and see what he's doing, but he don't do it like I do. So it's so hard to come in there and just see what he's doing, and then if he's doing something not right or unsafe, to just correct him. It's so hard to do that without taking over. So whenever I go and check on my kids, either I have the phone in my hand and I have my other hand in my pocket, or I just have both of my hands in my pocket or behind my back, or whatever the case may be. That way, when I go to reach to do something, I'm like, no, girl, your hand's supposed to be in your pocket. Come on now. You're not helping. You're not taking over. You're just helping. Okay? You're just there to help. And you helping can simply be like, don't do that. You might hurt yourself. Or watch what you're doing, because you're about to get bleach on your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Just little tips. But hands off. Hands off. Okay? That is the biggest tip I can give you, is just to let them do it. Let them do it and stop taking over. I'm sorry, that I can admit I am known to do this too. If I'm in a hurry and I want something done and it's the kid's responsibility to do it, sometimes I just do it. A lot of times, actually. But you're gonna burn yourself out, and also your kids are not gonna be independent like you want them to be. So I hope those things helped. I maybe do more of these little talks because I do have a long ride from work to home. And sometimes I do be wanting to talk. Sugar is at work. She can't always talk. So I might do these a little bit more if y'all like these. If I think of something that y'all been asking me in the comments and stuff, I'll check it out and then talk about it if it's a long talk for the video. Okay, bye.